Ladies and gents, welcome back. We've been hearing more and more about this in recent times, but this disturbing trend of people in positions of authority offering the MAID service for Canadians around the country. Now, MAID, for people who don't know, is the acronym for Medical Assistance in Dying. It's assisted suicide, and these services are being offered very, very inappropriately in many of these cases. And well, today we've got one such case as well. This from Andria Woo, saying a Vancouver woman who went to hospital seeking help for suicidal ideation says a clinician told her the system is broken, there are long waits to see a psychiatrist, and have you considered medical assistance in dying? Have you considered using the MAID program as a way out of seeking help? Because, of course, we have a broken medical system. Now, the story goes to say a Vancouver woman who went to hospital seeking help for suicidal thoughts says she was further distressed by a clinician who unexpectedly suggested medical assistance in dying. And this is not the first time we've heard a case like this, and I'll get into a few more cases in a little bit here. But this is just one of the more recent ones. 37-year-old woman lives with chronic depression and suicidality, both of which she says were exacerbated by a traumatic event earlier this year. Feeling particularly vulnerable in June, she went to the Vancouver General Hospital looking for psychiatric help in dealing with feelings of hopelessness she feared she couldn't shake. Instead, the woman said a clinician told her that there would be long waits to see a psychiatrist and that the healthcare system is broken. That was followed by a jarring question. Have you considered MAID? I very specifically went there that day because I didn't want to get into a situation where I would think about taking an overdose of medication, the woman said. The more I think about it, I think it brings up more and more ethical and moral questions around it. Vancouver Coastal Health, which operates the hospital, confirmed that the discussion took place, but said the topic of MAID was brought up to gauge her risk of suicidality. So they're saying that it was used as a tool in conversation to gauge, to figure out how much she really wanted to do this. Well, she went there because she was worried about it. She wanted to not think about it, not have the service offered to her. MAID is currently not legal for mental illness alone, yet. There is legislation being pushed to make it legal, and this is being fought by a lot of people in the industry. MAID is, of course, currently not legal for mental illness alone. Canada legalized assisted dying in 2016 for patients with reasonably foreseeable deaths, and expanded eligibility in 2021 to those with incurable conditions who are suffering intolerably. The legislation was set to expand again in March to allow MAID for those with mental illness as a sole condition, but the federal government sought a 1-year pause to allow for further scrutiny, or to just make sure it's out of the headlines again before they bring it forward. And this is the issue, and a lot of doctors are very concerned about this. A lot of people are very concerned, and other politicians, again, are very concerned about this. This is John Rustad. He's the leader of the Conservatives on the provincial level in British Columbia, saying no British Columbian facing mental health crisis should be offered assisted suicide. Not now, not ever. We should be fighting to save British Columbians, not give up on them. And this is the big problem and the moral conundrum with this. And it's been spreading. It's been spreading around the country in many different ways and in many different forms, and calling many things into question about the ethics behind this. Here's another story we covered on the channel before. RCMP called to investigate multiple cases of veterans being offered medically assisted death. This is cases of veterans suffering from PTSD, suffering from, dealing with the losses of limbs, the losses of the ability to use their body correctly because of their service for our freedoms, and being offered MAID as a way of checking out You can't handle it. Well, here you go. We don't really, we don't have the money to serve you in this. And that was famously said by Justin Trudeau to a veteran, to his face, actually, in a town meeting, where he said, the veterans are asking too much and we just can't afford it. That's a paraphrase, obviously. More stories where a Paralympian, a person who's paralyzed and is an athlete, was waiting for a wheelchair ramp for their home and was offered MAID instead, because the wait is so unbearable for your wheelchair that you've been guaranteed as a something that you were promised, but because it's not shown up, they offered MAID again. This is Veterans Affairs that did this, offered medical assistance in dying. A week after the Veterans Affairs Minister confirmed that at least 4 other veterans were being offered the same thing. This is just sad to see in our country. Now, the number of cases of Canadians receiving medical assistance in dying is on the rise. So many more people in Canada are using this. This is Stats Canada indicates in a report Monday, and this is January 10th of previous year. This is in 2017. Health Canada reported 2,838 medical assisted deaths in Canada. The number rose in 2018 to 4,478. In 2019, there was 5,425 MAID service calls, and it increased in 2020 to 7,383 deaths at the hands of the government. 2.4% of all deaths in Canada. That's unbelievably high. Rose 36% again from 2019 to 2020. And this is just a disturbing, absolutely disturbing trend here in Canada. And this is where it gets really disturbing and the ethics really come into play. This is reported from CTV News, saying that Canada is performing more organ transplants from MAID donors than any other country in the world. And they're harvesting organs from people that have decided that they're going to check out. Now, a lot of people are deciding to check out. Well, why are they deciding to check out? Is it because it's being recommended to them by our medical service? Is it being recommended to them by Veterans Affairs? And they're using these people as guinea pigs, medical tools. I don't know how else you can say this. The ethics are just so out of proportion in this country when it comes to this stuff. And now we're even gone further to the point where Nova Scotia has started this new thing, and we may see this coming to other provinces. But Nova Scotia brings presumed consent for organ donation. Advocates say they will be watching. Now, what does this mean? This is presumed consent. So in Nova Scotia, if you live there and you happen to pass away for whatever reason, whether it's MAID or natural causes or what have you, you're just presumed to be an organ donor until you go forward to the government and you make it clear that you don't want to be an organ donor. Now, again, the ethics of this is called into question. Is this ethical to just presume anybody is an organ donor? Nova Scotia on Monday became the first jurisdiction in North America to implement a policy of presumed consent for organ donation. This means all people in the province are considered organ donors unless they opt out. Children under the age of 19 are exempt from the law. But this is very unethical, and there's all kinds of scenarios that can be thought out about this, and unsavory things that can be done to people in order to make them not around anymore because of this, and especially people who may be identified as rare blood types or donation for certain individuals. This could get very, very unethical moving forward and into the future. But hey, I'm going to end this one here because well, I want to leave this one up to you guys. Leave this in the comments down below. Tell me what you think about this whole story. Have you known anyone who's been offered MAID? Please, if that's the case, put that comment in the comment section down below. Want to have more people coming forward about this kind of thing. If this is something that's being offered in our hospitals by Veterans Affairs, by any other sort of authority, in this case, clinicians or even psychiatrists offering this over as a way out of people's, well, whatever it may be. This needs to be brought to light, and people need to discuss this. This needs to be out in the open. So leave a comment in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think, and we'll see you, well, tonight in the live stream. We'll see you in the live stream, and that's at 9:30 Central, or is that Eastern? 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. Check that out, and we'll see you then. Keep on trucking.